Hey everybody, welcome back to Chortle Cast, the official podcast of Chortle Games, where we talk about games, TV shows, movies, anime, whatever the heck we want to talk about. I'm Jake.
And I'm Brody.
And we also have special guest Steven.
You guys almost did the whole thing. Like, that was impressive.
Yeah, I thought you were going to do the names first.
I think I did on the cut that we didn't have a mic, but that's okay. We recorded half the podcast without a mic.
Microphone.
Yeah, microphone. Very important part of the podcast.
I'm so glad that I noticed that.
I am so glad. We had only gotten about 5 minutes in, and Brody was about to lean up to the mic and say something, and then he was like, "Where the mic at?"
Dude, that would have sucked if we filmed the whole thing, and then we were just like, the microphone's not here.
That's why I keep you around, buddy.
Thanks.
Just always catching my mistakes. That's what I need. Anywho, this is Chortle Cast, where we talk about whatever we want to talk about. We got a great show for you this week. We're going to be talking about Destiny 2. We're going to be talking about PS Plus and Xbox Gold. And for October.
Whatever else we want to talk about.
And then we're going to talk about the Red Dead 2 Redemption 2
if we want
trailer. And then we might talk about some other stuff that happened this week. But we don't know, okay? So just shush, listen, and enjoy.
Stop, collaborate, and listen.
You're very aggressive with the readers this week. Or the listeners. Readers.
I'm sorry, listeners. I don't mean to be aggressive.
I said readers.
Yeah.
Maybe I took a nap like 30 minutes ago. I'm still getting there.
You're still jazzed. You're still jazzed from that raid. He's built up a rage. He's ready to unleash.
Yeah, we'll hear about that later.
So we've all been playing Destiny 2, having a great time. That's pretty much all. That's all I've been playing. Yeah. That's all you've been playing.
Yeah.
So we did the raid this week. It was pretty interesting. I'll set it up for you guys, and then I'll let you two kind of. I think Steven is going to rant, and Brody, you enjoyed it. So
once we started playing it, yeah, I enjoyed it.
Well, I'll set the scene for you. It's 7:30. We've got a crew of. We had what? Did we have 6 people from the start that we were ready for, or was it always that 5?
No, we had 5.
I knew we had 5, but I didn't know if we had 6 originally before we started.
No, we
I told
6 people.
Yeah. So
I told Scott to get a 6th, and he just didn't.
Well,
but that's fine.
At 7, we had all agreed to get on at 7:30. So I'm on at 7. I'm getting everything set up. 7:30 rolls around. Me and Brody sit in space. I guess you were probably there with us, Steven. We sat in space for 30 minutes to an hour. Finally, our other 2 people got on, so we've got a crew of 5. We were waiting on a 6, didn't happen. We were like, let's just go ahead and try. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're going through, we're doing all this. Y'all, I had to come away because Lee Allison had a crisis that I had to go help her with. Mm-hmm. So I had to step away for probably the first part. Y'all got in a fight. I jumped in about midway through. Y'all were bringing poles somewhere.
Yeah.
But that was just kind of a firefight. Wasn't anything too crazy, right?
That was like the beginning of the raid.
Right.
Yeah, we actually picked a fight that we were not supposed to pick.
I was just about to say, y'all, we walked past somebody and y'all were like, if we shoot these guys, what happens? And Scott was like, shoot them, you'll find out. And y'all killed them pretty easy. I wasn't over there, but it didn't look like y'all had to put up much of a fight. But, well, anyway, then we get into the first room, which is really kind of the first part of the raid. Mm-hmm. And that's when it got crazy.
Yeah, there's a platform that you have to bring 3 staff things to.
Yeah. What was that room called? The Gauntlet?
No, that wasn't the Gauntlet.
No.
I don't even know the name of that.
I can't remember what.
It's just a big open area. It's like a plaza or something.
No, I'm talking about that first room we went into where we had the puzzle that we got stuck in.
Oh yeah, that was the Gauntlet.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you had to do some kind of horde mode thing to get to the Gauntlet.
Right.
Yeah, with the standards.
That was Steven's favorite thing.
Yeah, that was
my favorite thing.
That was a
awesome.
Pretty straightforward firefight. It was it was hard. There were a lot of things going on, but it was.
You have to do that. You have to do that 3 times, I think, total in the raid.
Right.
Every time you go to a new room, you have to do it again.
Yeah, that was hard. I was back up for you.
Yeah.
You and I were running after the poles that we had to bring back to the core team to get in. But once we got into the Gauntlet room, that's where it really got crazy for me. And I know Steven's going to go on
we had a 6.
That's the thing is we got in and it became very apparent that we really need 6 people for this. or just one freaking insane skilled person.
We were like, maybe we could do this with 5.
Right.
And it just...
The puzzle itself was what was stumping us. Or not stumping us, we knew what to do, but it was just like, we can't do this without 6 people.
Honestly, I felt like a lot of it was the learning curve, because it was Scott talked, because Scott was leading our raid.
Right.
Scott talked for like 15 minutes about what we're supposed to do, and it was just this info dump.
Yeah.
Where it was like, I'm not going to know any of this until I actually just try it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like once we actually started doing it, we got better almost every single time.
Oh yeah.
And that was the main problem for me. It wasn't even the lack of a 6th, but was just the lack of knowing what the heck we're supposed to do with only having one guy that actually knew.
Right. It was very complex. And then the most frustrating part for me was that we had 3 people that cycled through as our 6th. Mm-hmm. The first was a rando that you found online.
The first was some Australian dude that joined us like, oh, mate, two top bomb. And we were like, what the heck?
So in the Gauntlet, in spoilers for the raid, if you don't want to go in without any hints or whatever, but the basically what we had to do, the puzzle was that there's 4 different stations with platforms on them. And all these stations have arrows, a top, a middle, and a bottom. Somebody would go to the other side. It was like a circle, and there was like an inner circle and an outer circle. Somebody would be teleported to the outer circle, and they would see a ball in the top, middle, or bottom rung of it was like a 3v3 tic-tac-toe board. And they had to call out where it was. So if it was in the middle, they'd say middle. And then the people on the outside had to shoot the top and the bottom, and vice versa.
Whatever he said.
Yeah. So this guy, he would tell me and Steven, because we were on his team. He would be like, "Guys, shoot the one that I shoot the ones that I don't say." And then he'd go in there, and he'd mean that it's in the middle, but he'd say top bottom, and me and Steven are like, "What?"
What actually? Because this guy, he meant bottom.
Right.
Every time. And so the thing was in the bottom row. So we were not supposed to shoot the bottom row. But another part of the communication we were doing was you need to say your name first so that you know which group is being directed. And then you say where it is second. So this guy was saying something that sounded like top for his name, or for some reason he was just saying top for no reason. So he was saying top then bottom, which made us think, okay, it must be in the middle because this guy is saying top and bottom.
Right.
So we shot the top and bottom. And he got so frustrated with us because both times he was like, no, it's in the bottom. I said bottom. He just got so angry at us. And it happened 3 times. And we failed constantly because of this guy.
Yeah, he eventually left. Then we got in another guy who ended up staying with us, and our 4th or 5th guy ended up having to leave. So then we pulled in...
it was Chicken, and then Chicken invited Pig.
Right.
And then Chicken left, and Pig stayed. So then we were still out of 6th.
So then we got Gray, who is...
friend of the show.
What's his channel called? My Name's Gray?
My Name's Game.
My Name's Game. Anyway, go check him out. He's great. He came on and helped us out. He had already done the raid, so we kind of had to explain what we were trying to do, and then he caught on pretty quick and helped us out. So
yeah, and then once he jumped in, we flew through it pretty much.
Oh yeah, I mean it was great. It was hard to do, but it was a lot of fun working. I just hated all the downtime that came with coordinating.
The downtime was the main bad thing to me. Once we realized what to do, I already understand pretty much what to do with the bath thing.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be easy. Working together as a team was really fun to me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just you really have to go in with a team that's like, okay guys, 6 to 12 tonight. That's our time slot.
It didn't help.
If you're in, you're in. You can't leave. You can't,
So we had 2 extra people in the party that weren't part of the raid.
Yeah, we had Miles,
and Miles was one of them.
Miles and Miles. And we didn't need silence while shooting all the ads
doing hordes and stuff like that. But once we were in the puzzle, it was like, everybody shut up. Yeah. It is go time.
Alex Ann told me after we finished that all she heard me down there saying last night was, all right, everyone shut up. And I was like, Yeah, pretty much, because someone or like chicken or pig would be like, all right, chicken bottom, and then Miles would be like, I bet you, I didn't know you were bottom, and then I was like, dude, shut up, Miles.
Really, shut up. It was so intense.
And then I don't know if I should say all the stuff that Miles is saying.
Probably shouldn't. If you've seen any of the Fortnite, you know Miles can get a little
Yeah.
crazy.
Got ridiculous, and Miles is just God, so stupid.
Well, I want to say, so it was really hard. We went through. I want to talk about my shining moment in that whole night. Was we had gone through the first part, which is getting whoever's in that outer circle all the way through. What is it?
Yeah,
3 times?
3 times.
After that, everybody goes to the outer circle, and we all have to run this obstacle course while jumping through that tic-tac-toe board. And basically, we all have an orb that keeps us alive. There's 6 of us, but only 4 orbs in each gate that we have to go through.
Yeah.
So we had to trade off who was grabbing what. And so me and Scott, who was our guide, he and I were the slowest people. So he and I were like, all right, look, we're going to die. We just have to live long enough for y'all to make it through. So he and I were going to take the first 2 orbs from the first 2 gates, and then the other 4 people were going to trade off at each gate. And so y'all, I was already like, I just need to survive long enough for y'all to win. Like, I'm not going to win. I'm not going to make it. So we did it once. We all kind of fell through. We got to it a second time, and we're all running. And I'm just like, all right, Jake, you just got to survive, man. You just got to survive. We get through the first gate. Everything's fine. We get through the second gate. I hear somebody on the main team who's got to win die. And I'm like, oh, crap. That's not good. We're down a man already.
It was me. I stepped on a platform that started falling, and it cut my time like in half. And I was like, shit. And then I like exploded right before I touched one of the orbs.
Who died next? Because someone else dropped off immediately. Gray. And he was on...
It was either Gray or Scott.
He was ahead of me. And then Scott died. And so 2 of the core guys made it through. And everybody I heard was like, we can't do it. Like, we're not going to make it. It's over. Like, we're going to have to wipe, blah, blah, blah. But I was still running. I was still alive. And somebody said, no, Jake's still alive. And it just like the pressure was on. I was just like, holy crap. Everything is riding on me making it through this right now. And I was supposed to die. So I'm hopping through. I think it was like the 3rd gate that I realized that. So I grab another orb and I made it through. I could not see a single thing. I don't know what happens, but like your vision gets blurry and stuff. Like it was red and pulsing like we were all about to die. And I slammed it in. And then y'all were all like, yeah, we finally did it. And Lee Allison was asleep, so I had to be very quiet. So I don't know if y'all even heard me, but I was like, oh my God, guys, I'm so freaking excited. I cannot believe we just did that. That's amazing. Holy crap. I was so pumped.
It makes me
I was
laugh
the first
every time,
one.
Like, sorry.
Were you the first one through?
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
it makes me laugh every time that you're playing when Lee Allison's asleep, because you, like, Chicken hopped off, and you were like, okay, guys, I really don't feel like going to, like, quitting this and having to start all over.
Yeah.
So, like, let's just keep going.
Yeah.
But, like, it's just like you're whispering the whole time.
I was trying to be so quiet. And that's what, every time we play Destiny and that happens, I hope y'all don't think I'm, like, mad. Because I really sound like I'm just mad as hell. Because I'm talking like this. I'm like y'all will be like, is everybody ready? And I'm like, I'm ready. I'm in position. I'm ready to go.
It's like you try not to make your sentences really long.
I try not to enunciate. I try not to do anything.
Because it was like everybody was screaming over each other. Like, I think once we hit 5 and we were waiting for Gray, and we were like, let's just try it on our own. And you were like, everyone's like yelling over each other. And I heard you like, your character was like sitting on his pillar. And you were just like, okay, guys, I'm ready. I'm ready, guys.
I'm ready. I'm in
and
position.
I was like, is he pissed off right now?
That's what I was like. I know they're gonna think that, and to some degree I was, because of just how many times we had to lose a person, and then because every time we got a new person we had to sit through another 15-minute lecture about how the whole thing worked, and then we'd have to do at least 3 before that person actually understood.
But once we got us, I think we should.
Once
just
we got through, I mean, I
now.
could jump in with a completely new fresh team, and I could explain that. How to do that now.
It's really easy.
It's simple once you do it and have seen it all go through, but man, it's hard.
Yeah. Regarding when we did do Gauntlet, I was the first one through. And then Pig was right behind me. And I just saw our team dropping left and right. And I slammed mine in, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, well, crap. I mean, we were so close. And then I see Jake's slow little warlock just going like, and I'm like, Jake's still alive!
Were you the one that said that? I couldn't tell who it was.
I think I might have been. Because I remember it being like, guys, Jake! And so I just saw you just with your little orb just huffing it, and then...
I was so slow. I think my mobility's like a 4. It's real bad.
Mine's only 5.
Warlocks aren't supposed to have high mobility.
Well, it was a struggle. I was barely huffing along, but I made it. Do y'all name your characters?
No.
I have a whole narrative going on with my characters.
You've like done the thing I did in Skyrim that's like made a character and then role play as that character.
Yeah. So my warlock's name is Galahad. My Titan is a girl, Awoken. Her name's Artemis, which I really like. They're secretly in love, Galahad and Artemis, but Artemis doesn't like that Galahad is kind of protective of her because she's a Titan and she's all tough. She's like, no, I don't need your help. She also sounds like Keira Knightley. Just whenever she speaks, that's Keira Knightley. Just
I don't know if Awoken and human. I think the Awoken hate humans.
No, tough luck.
I don't know.
Well, the Reef Awoken do.
Oh, okay.
I'm still trying to come up with a good name for my hunter. I haven't come up with one yet, though.
Is it an XO?
Yeah, it's going to be an XO.
Well, it has to be followed by a number then.
I know. I'm trying to come up with a really good like pun out of the name.
Hunter 1.
Hunter 1? No.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I'll pass. I was thinking I was trying to do something with like Rob. Like Robert.
Robbie?
Or maybe.
It could be like
no, because that's a letter. You'd have to do like dash a letter.
Just do Wall-E, but make the E a 3.
Okay. I like that.
Wall 3.
Yeah, Ben, I'm sorry if I for even thinking of that. But yeah, anything else I want to... Steven, I know you have a rant building up about the raid. Do you want to unleash all that anger and fury right now real quick?
My salt's getting dangerously high. I should probably say something.
We probably said something and Steven was like, no, that part was stupid.
Okay. Here's my thing. I didn't hate the raid.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I enjoyed parts of the gauntlet.
Right.
In the aspect of working together is cool and all. I really liked the standard room, the mini horde mode, because it was this. You have an objective. The objective is fetch 3 standards, stick them in the platform while you're defending the standards you already have.
Right.
So what you have there is an open-ended objective where it's like you can do this however you want. You can send 4 attackers and leave 2 defenders. You can send 1 attacker, leave mostly defenders. It was up to your team to determine your tactics. For example, I had the right side on my own. The enemies were coming from right staircase and a left staircase. Chicken and Scott were mostly on the left, and I had the right locked down because my strength as a Night Stalker is crowd control. So I was able to shoot my tether, and enemies were literally walking into my tether, giving me super energy back, so I always had my shadow shot. So they weren't getting up in the right side unless if something went horribly wrong. And I liked that. We were able to adapt to our strengths and weaknesses. The problem with the gauntlet, and I'm speaking solely about the gauntlet because that's the only one we actually completed, but the problem with the gauntlet is that it takes this game, and Destiny at its core is a first-person shooter with class-based mechanics. It throws that out the window. None of it matters. I hate that. Because, and Scott was telling us this, that the Leviathan is very mechanics heavy. So my problem with raids in Destiny is when they're like, hey, do this way and no other way, or you're all going to die instantly. So it doesn't give you the option to formulate a plan as a team other than the simple, this person is doing this and everyone else is doing this. And I don't like that because the only strategic layer that we had in the gauntlet was who's the fastest runner and who's the slowest runner. I didn't use my abilities. I never felt the need to use my abilities because I was on the outside with you, Jake. We were shooting the arrows. And it just felt like just this massive coordination dump, which...
If we didn't do it perfectly, it failed.
Right. And it was not open to interpretation. Mm-hmm. It was, you do it this way, and then you don't even get rewarded for it, really. Because I didn't get anything for any of the stuff we did during the raid.
When we got back to the tower, I think, did y'all both come with me, or did I just bail on y'all and go on my own? I don't remember. Anyway,
I think we all just went separate.
Yeah, that's maybe what it was. Anyway, I went back to the tower, and I had 5 legendary Ingrams that I'd gotten just in our first couple parts that we did. I got nothing above my current light level. Mm-hmm. So it was, I'm hoping that through the rest of it, it'll be better. But anyway.
I think the main problem, just speaking over Destiny as a whole, and I was telling Brody this thing last night, my problem with Destiny 2, and it was my problem with Destiny 1, is that it's very centric on speedrun culture, as I call it, which is, this is the best weapon to use for this. You better use this or you're doing it the wrong way. Mm-hmm. This is the most efficient way to do this. If you're not doing it this way, you're doing it the wrong way. To that end, and I told you were telling me, hey, I'm the guy you hate in strikes right now. And I was like, what do you mean? You said, I'm joining up other teams of 2. Uh-huh. Whenever you do a strike with 2 people, you always get that third guy who's trying to speedrun the strikes. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I want to enjoy this game. Mm-hmm. I paid $60 to have fun, not to be efficient and try to get the best loot. Mm-hmm. Of course I want the best loot because that's part of the game. But these strikes are actually pretty fun and interesting missions that if you take your time, which again is the problem I have with the Nightfalls, but whatever. If you take your time, you can actually enjoy this stuff.
Right.
And so that speedrun culture is kind of implemented in the raid too, where you have that whole language of, like I said, use this weapon, otherwise you're doing it wrong.
Right.
Do it this way and this way and this way, and it stops being a game, and it starts being like a dance that has very specific steps. It's like a chore.
Yeah.
And that's the problem I have with it, is just that it took an artificial difficulty and put that on the front end that's very mechanics based, so that none of the character building I've been doing to accomplish this big raid matters at all. And that's my main problem with the Gauntlet.
Yeah.
But it was enjoyable, but would I say that's what I expected or wanted from the end all be all challenge in the game right now? No, not at all.
Yeah.
But that's, I'll stop there.
Well, cool. I had fun with it overall. It was definitely a much more interesting thing that we've gotten to do. Again, just the people trying to coordinate and communicate with a group of 6 people that are constantly changing is difficult. But let's switch on to something else that we're all excited about. I think we're all excited about Red Dead 2 Redemption 2. Yeah. I'm super excited. I
love the first one.
I loved the first one. The first one was really good. My funny story about the first one is that I didn't know you could do the bullet time, if you will, until that very last scene.
Are you serious?
At the very end of the game, where
that's literally a core mechanic.
I know. That's my story. If you've ever seen Red Dead 2, I'm not going to spoil what happens at the end, but there's a very final scene where bullet time activates automatically. It's the very end of the game. It activates automatically, and you can slow motion shoot a bunch of people. When that happened, I was like, what's happening? I'm in slow motion? What am I doing? And it was like click to kill, and I was like, what, dude? And then I got shot to death and died. But
well, you just spoiled it.
Well, they don't know. Could be a gameplay. I don't know. Whatever.
I feel like there's like missions in the game that you can't complete without using.
There was and one in particular is there's some guy who's like a trade show that he's going around. He like recruits you to do tricks and stuff to prove that his like elixir is like magical or whatever. There's a shot where he throws his hat up and you have to shoot it out of the air. Took me for freaking ever to do because I'm not good at shooting things, and it was like I had to just get it just right with my eye. Had no idea that bullet time was a core mechanic. I don't know how I missed it. I have no idea how it didn't occur, like how that didn't happen.
I don't know either.
I did the whole game without it.
I'm excited for it though.
I'm really pumped.
It's a prequel to the first one.
Right. It's Arthur Martin or something like that. Give me a second. I can pull it up. But yeah, he is joining the gang
that John Marston was in.
John Marston was in and then left, and you kill Arthur
Morgan.
Morgan. Yep. But yeah, it's really interesting.
I need to replay the first game because everyone was talking about like the gang leader and stuff, and I was like, I don't remember anything about. Yeah, Dutch. Yeah. I don't remember anything about him.
Well, it's interesting because when they showed that first teaser, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, this is totally the gang that John was in," and they were like, "Look at this!" Like people had zoomed in and like enhanced the quality a little so they could see the character models, and they were like, "Yeah, that's Dutch. Like this is totally what it is." So it's cool that they were right, but it's before John came. So like, John may show up in this game. Or it may be so far ahead that we don't see him. I kind of wonder if this guy is going to be John's dad somehow, but I don't think the timeline would work really well with that. But I don't know. Who knows? It could be anything.
Who knows?
But it looks like a ton of fun. Y'all know what I walked away most excited about. They showed that bow and arrow, and I was like, hey, you got me. I'm sold. I'm going to be bow and arrow cowboy.
You find games that have bows, and you're like, I want to use that. And then there's games that like Horizon Zero Dawn, like you can only use a bow, and then Jake was like, I just don't like that game.
No, I like it. I like it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I do. I do. I haven't had enough. Like, I just haven't had enough time to really want to get into it.
Okay.
Like, there's a mode where it's just the story mode. I really considered just clicking onto that.
Yeah.
Because I'm the kind of person, and the way I game, we're going off a tangent here, but the way I game is I get so like check off every little thing on the list. So if there's a side quest that's like on my icon bar, I've got to go do it. I got to get it off. I can't just go through the mission. But anyway, sorry. So it looks cool. It's exciting.
Yep.
Y'all are most excited for online.
2018.
Y'all were talking about online.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited about. I'd probably be
online was the main thing I played in Red Dead Redemption 1, and I have fond memories of. The one horse-drawn carriages being stuck in the ground, so they drifted like Lambos going 80 miles an hour.
Oh, that got so ridiculous.
Or running with a full group of people and having that one a-hole that would throw dynamite at our carriage that we just spent 30 minutes trying to get. Or the one that would drive, usually miles, driving us off a cliff to our deaths. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I'm
excited.
I'm excited. The story sounds really, really interesting.
Yeah.
It sounds like we're going to be robbing trains and pulling heists, bank robberies.
Any other way, man.
So this is the other thing. I played John Marston as like this goody two shoes guy, like who had never done anything bad in his life.
Really?
Yeah, like I never did any. Like I was a perfect. I had no outlaw.
Cowboy.
I had no outlaw score or whatever. I think one time I got an outlaw score for something really weird. I don't remember what it was, but I was like, "What is this?" I didn't understand. Like I didn't know that there was you can be a good cop, bad cop in this. I was just trying to be as nice as I could in the old Wild West. So I'm curious to see if you're going to be able to do that in this one. Because in GTA, I never really feel like I get to be
a bad guy,
a good guy. Is what I was going to say. Because in GTA, you're always like you're robbing stuff, you're heisting. There's the scene in GTA 5 where Trevor tortures people.
Yeah.
Like that, I was like, okay, how can I get out of this? Like, what can I do to help this guy? And there was like no options. It was just I had to do it. And I was just like, okay, whatever.
Why you want to help him? Just cut his hand off.
You can do what?
I think you cut his fingers off or something.
I just pulled teeth because I thought that was the most humane thing I could do.
I don't remember
all the options, but they all sounded horrible. So I was just like, I'll just pull this guy's teeth. He can get dentures or something. Anywho. I think it's gonna be really good.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's like a spring 2018.
Spring 2018. It looks absolutely ridiculous, like quality wise.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Like
for sure.
That trailer is beautiful. I've seen it. I've seen some captured on PS4 Pro. That looks really, really nice.
I'm just excited that there's like a snow part.
Yeah, the environments are gonna be. There's a swamp with crocodiles that are hiding in the lakes.
Hiding
in them swamps, boy.
You know what was really scary in the first game?
What?
Was cougars that would run out of nowhere and kill your horse.
Oh, yeah.
And you just fall off of it, and your guy would be like, oh, I need like roll a bunch, and he'd like get up, and you just hear, it was really scary. And you're like, I'm just going to die now. There's no way I'm going to live.
I'm just going to die now. Oh, man. That's awesome. Anything else we want to talk about the new trailer? I thought it was great.
There's dual pistols now, it looks like. That was
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Is that not in the other one?
Yeah.
It's funny. A lot of people. I saw a couple articles. I think it was Polygon who was writing about the bow and arrow, like how big of a deal. Like that was so requested, and like it didn't really make sense why it wasn't in the other one. I remember when we got throwing knives in the first one. That was like, okay, this is what I'm using now.
You used?
That's all I used once I got those. Yeah.
It's probably a pretty expensive weapon.
It probably was, but I used that and I try to lasso people. So, and also talking about not having bullet time, you do those duels every now and then. I would always try to shoot their hand or the gun out of their hand because that was like the good option for winning. That was hard to do without bullet time, let me tell you. But anyway, yeah, it looks like it's going to be a good game.
Your mom looks
Speaking
she's going to be a good game.
Of good games, let's talk about what's coming out to the PS4 Plus this month. Actually, next month, October of 2017.
Tell me what games.
I'm going to tell you, Brody.
Tell me.
I'm really excited.
Cannot wait.
Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain.
Metal Gear
Solid 5, The Phantom Pain on PS4. The Amnesia Collection on PS4. Monster Jam Battlegrounds PS3. Hustle Kings, which actually looks kind of fun on PS3. It's a pool game. Hue on PS3 or PS Vita and PS4, and Skyforce, which is available on all of those platforms.
Is Skyforce the Spyro thing?
No.
That's Skylander.
That's Skylander.
Okay.
That is like I'll call it a 32-bit plane shooter. You know the plane shooter we got, I think it was this month, September. Just imagine that, but like in like 16, 32-bit digital kind of character. That's what it was. But anyway, obviously the standout here is Metal Gear 5.
Yeah, and I know like fans of the series were kind of disappointed with the game.
Were they?
Yeah, but I've heard that the gameplay itself is really fun.
I was supposed to say
The gameplay looks fantastic.
I'm not a Metal Gear fan. I haven't played any of the other ones necessarily, but I've seen I watched Let's Plays of that game because it looked so much fun. And I was really close to buying it, but I was just like, I don't know anything about this. I just want to, it looks fun, but I don't know that I'd be into it. Now that it's, I can't wait to download it and play it. Like, I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm going to get it.
The ongoing narrative that we've had is that the last two, whatever the big game is, it's something that I've gotten or have gotten at some point. This is the first one that it's like, oh, finally, we're getting to that pouch that I never got to, of stuff. So I'm really excited to try this out. But yeah, that's the big one. And
What about you, Steven? Are you looking forward to that?
I mean, I'm gonna get it. It's free, but
did you ever get it or play it?
No. Metal Gear is one of those games that it's so hard to find a jump on point.
Yeah.
Just because it's so big and just convoluted at times, and I've heard everyone just rave about it, but it's like, could I actually enjoy this game beyond just the gameplay if I hopped into it? I'm sure I probably could, and I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna try it, but
they were talking about this yesterday, I guess, on Kind of Funny Games Daily. They were talking. Somebody had asked, is this like, do I need to play another game before I jump into this one or what? And they were like, the story's so convoluted, just jump in. Like you're gonna be lost either way, so you might as well just jump in. So I'm not worried about that. For those of you that are Xbox people, they've got Gone Home Collector's Edition, the Turning Test, Rayman 3 HD, and Medal of Honor Airborne. So, if you're an Xbox, one of those Xbox One people, what?
None of those sound. I only know one.
None of those are Metal Gear Solid 5. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, anywho, what else y'all want to talk about? Steven, have you heard about the Atari box that Atari is making?
Yes, is that
That's their new console that they've been talking about.
Yes, I heard a little bit about it.
So at E3, this is kind of the ongoing narrative with this. At E3, they made this announcement that they're making a box. We all kind of looked at it and were like, oh, cool, they're getting on that NES classic, kind of like they're trying to make this, like whatever. A couple months later, it came out that no, this was going to be like a console that was going to create its own content and stuff. And so people were like, okay, but it also said stuff like it's going to be crowdfunded and some other weird things. The most recent announcement really just boggles me. They revealed pricing, a release window, and they announced where you can go to crowdfund. It's going to launch in late spring of 2018. It is going to be $250 to $300 US. And the company says it is trying to make a Linux-based console that's a full PC experience for the TV, bringing your streaming applications, browsing, music, and more straight to your television or something. So what really catches my attention is the PC for your TV thing. Like,
but it's Linux based?
It's Linux based, which I'm not super familiar with, but I know that that's a lot of PC games there are Linux downloads for. So
I can't for the life of me think of any games that like Steam ports to Linux though.
Every time I try to go for a code for stuff, there's usually a Linux, but I don't know. They're kind of smaller. So but yeah, I don't know. It's it could be really interesting. I mean, a lot of us look at PC gamers and are like, oh, cool, they get to play stuff that we don't necessarily. Like Owlboy was on PC for the longest time. It's supposedly going to be coming to Switch soon, so I'm excited to play that. But like, there's a bunch of those kind of things that like, oh, these are PC games that I can't play on a console, and I don't want to deal with a PC. I just want a console box that'll run it. Mm-hmm. So this could potentially be kind of cool. But anyway,
this is super weird. I didn't know that wasn't just a waveform.
It is just a waveform.
But it's a waveform of what's happening like now.
Yeah.
Like when he moves, it moves.
Brody is looking at our box that is recording Steven. Another story I'll talk about. So another game that's coming out that we're all excited about. Probably the next game that we're going to be playing, or that I'm going to be playing, is Shadow of War.
I'm not going to play it until it's like $10.
Brody's going to wait till it's a little cheaper. Steven, you're excited about it, but you may not be able to get it day one.
Yeah, I really want it, but I can't justify it just yet.
Well, part of your price has just gone down because we've talked about this before, but there's the charity DLC that was honoring I forget his name. It's like Fog.
It was the developer.
Yeah, Michael Forgey. It's the charity DLC that was honoring him. Basically, it was an orc slayer who, much like the Man of Mystery in Fallout 4, will appear randomly and help you in a fight. They originally came out and said, this is like a $5 DLC. Money is going towards his family or whatever. Everybody was like, oh, that's super cool, blah, blah, blah. Then some confusion came out. Only certain states can do it. Canada can't. Like, if you buy it in Canada, that money's not going towards the donation. All this sort of stuff. We talked about it on another podcast. The most recent update is that I think it's Warner Brothers, WB Games, has announced that it is free. It's completely free DLC, and that WB is going to donate a sizable amount of money to his family, and that this is just going to be an honor thing for him. So everybody is going to have access to this DLC. We can all go and download it, and Forgy will be forever honored in the game. Fort Hog. That's the Orc Slayer's name. Anywho, I think this is really a cool move on their part. That at first when I read it that it was just free, I kind of got worried because I was like, the whole point was that we were donating money to his family. But then I read through the story and they are planning to donate to his family. But I think from a PR standpoint, that was the best move they could have done.
Yep.
I think definitely. That really is going to pull a lot of people's attention back. So
yeah, because it seemed like the confusion and the complication was coming from WB in the first place.
Right.
So this really comes back to them showing like, hey, just take it, and
right.
We actually
do
care
have goodwill.
About.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think the articles I've read listed a price that they're gonna be donating. I want to say it's like a portion of sales, like whatever his portion of sales would have been, or something like that.
Probably like $10.
Hopefully not, but anyway, yeah. It was a really good PR move for them, though. I'm excited. I'm glad. I'm gonna be getting it. I was planning on buying it anyway. Regardless, our state was one of the ones that wasn't included in that price, but I'm glad that all worked out, and it's kind of a cool thing that we'll all be able to remember.
You're kind of a cool thing.
Are you gonna remember me when I'm dead? How are you gonna honor me when I'm dead, Brody? Are you gonna put me in a video game?
Sure.
Are you just gonna make a video game? Just make a Jake simulator.
Okay.
And you can be Jake for a day.
That's what I'll do. I'll make it where like people just go and edit.
Yeah, just it's the simulator as you're in front of a computer and you're pressing buttons all day. That's what you're doing. Last thing I want to talk about, Assassin's Creed is another game that's coming out soon.
Stupid.
So this is not the story I want to talk about, but I do want to say that I have unpreordered that game.
Oh, really?
I have decided that October 27th, I believe, date is just, there's too much crammed on there. There's no point in getting
Stranger Things and Mario.
Wolfenstein is coming, which I'm not getting Wolfenstein, but there's a lot of things planned out there.
You out that's coming out too.
Yeah, well, it just, I know I'm excited about Mario Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm going to be playing on that day, and probably for the following week.
Mm-hmm.
I like Assassin's Creed, and I am excited to play this new one because it looks really good. But it is not something I'm going to play on day one. So I was like, you know what? If I can wait a month, if I can wait a couple months, I just may do that.
AC games always drop in price really fast. Anyway.
That's kind of what I said, you know what? I'll wait, because I did the same thing with Horizon and Final Fantasy 15 and all these other ones. It was like, I'm not going to have time to play these, but I pre-ordered them anyway. And it's like, and then in some cases I ended up taking them back immediately before even finishing them, to return and get some of that money back. But anyway, I just wanted to say that. Going on, Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft has announced that they are going to be releasing a Discovery Tour mode in 2018.
What?
Which is basically going to be an educational mode that will happen through Assassin's Creed Origins. So basically here's Egypt.
I can't wait to learn about the Egyptian gods and how they're manipulating time.
You can learn about that. Basically, we were talking about this before we started rolling. But Assassin's Creed games, there's always been bits of history that you learn as you go. And I've always kind of liked that. Like, there's a lot of stuff I've learned about Roman culture through Ezio's storyline. There'd be things like you'd go to a certain location and you had to do something there, and it would give you a little paragraph about that place. Some history of items you'd find. There'd be collectibles you'd get that show you some stuff.
Back when Sean existed.
Right. So that was always cool. But now it just looks like they've just given that a full reign mode. But I think it's going to be more than just you can walk over to this, pick it up, and here's a paragraph about it. Obviously, they've spent a lot of time recreating Egypt. So there's a world to walk around. But one of the samples that they showed is there's a place where you can go learn about embalming and mummification in Egyptian time. And so there's literally your character is standing watching someone go through the process and do it all. And from what I've read, that person's explaining it to you. I will probably not do a ton with this, but I think it's a really, really cool mode.
Ubisoft, especially with the Assassin's Creed games, has always been really accurate with their world creation and world interpretation as far as history goes. And so this is something that, honestly, back in the day with Ezio, like you were saying, I would have loved to have had this because I'm quarter Italian, so it would have been cool being able to learn in game.
Steven is really proud of his Italian heritage.
Yeah.
Steven learning about why he's so hairy.
For Mario?
Yes.
Let's not
Anyway,
go there.
Anyway.
Yeah, but no, I think it's a cool thing.
Yeah.
I'm if I get Origins, I'm totally gonna check it out.
I think if I was a history teacher, this would be awesome. Like, I would totally use this.
If you turn this on in class, I'd be like, teach. Come on, man. What are you doing?
Why am I watching a video game
I'd
when
say
you're supposed to teach
You're
me?
seriously going to make us watch your Let's Plays teach?
Would you really, though? I'd think
I
it was
guess
super
it'd be
cool.
like a Let's Play class.
I mean, it would be. I'd think it would be super cool if a teacher pulled out a video game
he'd probably
to talk
start
Egypt.
reading all like the embalming stuff in like a goofy voice and be like, first you cut a hole in the throat and drain out all the blood.
Is that supposed to be an Egyptian voice?
No, it's just a goofy voice.
You sounded like Alf for a second.
Oh, that was a weird voice.
Next man, he just starts the class and was like, "What's up, guys? It's Captain Butt Stuff here. Back with episode 3 of
Egyptian Class 101. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching this episode of Chortle Cast. We do hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, there's a couple things you can do to get in touch with us. If you're watching on YouTube, you're already at chortlegames.com. You can leave a comment on that YouTube video, and Brody or I will respond. We'd love to hear your thoughts if you enjoyed it. What are your thoughts on Red Dead Redemption 2? What are your thoughts on Assassin's Creed's new Discovery Tour mode? We want to know your thoughts and comment. It's a comment. It's a conversation in the comments section.
Are you okay?
That we want to have. So do that. Also, if you're listening, you're an audio listener, you can go to iTunes and leave us a nice little review. Let us know what you thought of the show, and share it with friends, and maybe even subscribe on iTunes, because that's nice. It's a nice thing you can do. And another way is you can email us at chortlecast@gmail.com and let us know your thoughts, what you like. Do you have any topics you'd like to hear us talk about? Maybe something you see in the news that week. You want to say, hey, what do these guys think? We'd love to know. Send it to us that way. Again, chortlecast@gmail.com. Last but not least, you can tweet us at chortlegames on Twitter, and we'll tweet you back. It's been a good show, guys. Thanks for being here, Steven. Again.
Yep, always.
Almost always here all the time, because he's cool like that. Brody, you're messing up my capture.
I go where I'm needed.
Now we're there.
Brody's messing up my capture. Steven's face is it's doing things right here somewhere.
I'm everywhere now.
This general area. But yeah, it's been a good show. Any final words, thoughts, lessons from today? Make sure your mics are plugged in. Always.
Yeah. Always.
Always check your mics.
Make sure to begin every episode as close to the mic as you can get, so that you notice
that
the
way
mic
you
is
know
gone.
it's there.
Yeah.
Because if it's not, you're gonna be mad, real mad. We'll see you next time.
I'm so pissed.